Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about making sewing and crafts fun and approachable, and I am about to try a new pattern for the holidays. I have a bunch of these pattern scraps I've been collecting for a few years, and I think this would be a great scrap fabric project, especially if you have prints you can fussy cut. This is called the Snow Hoop Ornament. It's a very low sew pattern by Linen Bouquet. It's available on Etsy. I will link it below. I spotted this pattern and I really liked the ingenious design of it. It does take some embroidery hoops, so I bought a few of those, and a little bit of sparkly fake snow. You'll also need some sort of very stiff stabilizer, and I happen to have a roll of it, so I cut a piece off to use. There are a few pattern pieces to cut out, and there's some list of materials. Something I really like about this pattern is that you don't need huge pieces of fabric. It sounds perfect for what I have here, and here are some of the pattern pieces to cut out, so join me in making this pattern. Got the pattern pieces all cut out. Now I need to press my fabric. The pattern designer Jasmine recommends you heavily starch the fabric to prevent fraying, so I will be doing that. There's also step-by-step video tutorials on the Linen Bouquet YouTube channel. I will link them below. This project is very low sew, but this is one of the sewing machine required parts. We are going to be sewing this little window for the clear vinyl that we'll also be using for the ornament. So you're supposed to sew these two pieces right sides together. To make things easier, I'm going to be using my glue basting technique. So I'm going to apply glue all around the circle, just a tiny bit here. And then taking it to the sewing machine for a 1/4 inch seam allowance. We'll just hit this with the iron so the glue dries pretty immediately. The ornaments are finished. I think these turned out so cute. This one I used this angel print and I fussy cut it so it was right in the middle of my snow globe ornament. Check out this sparkly snow. This was a little bit tricky at a few parts. So the parts I had a little bit of trouble with were actually wrapping the fabric strips around the outer embroidery hoop. That for me was a little tough to do without fraying the edges of the fabric. I had to trim quite a few loose threads. The other part I did find a little bit difficult was because you're wrapping the outer hoop, it's going to be a much tighter fit. It was quite a squeeze getting the outer hoop over the inside hoop, especially because you're going through more layers than you did before. I did figure it out, but you can see on this one I had a little bit of trouble centering the clear window portion of the ornament, but you know what, that's okay. So on this one I used this Christmas tree print as the background, and then this fun star print for the window, and then this old green and yellow print, like lime green, that I've had for a while. It's sort of like an argyle print. And then I added my own mini Pom Pom Trim around the outside edges of both the ornaments. I think they look so cool though. And then I did a ribbon on this one, a little pink ribbon. And I had this like candy cane wire. So I decided to add that as an embellishment on the angel ornament. I tried to tie a bow, but this stuff was way too thick, so that didn't work out. So I sort of did it as like kind of like a little embellishment. Another thing I love about this pattern is that on the back, this piece of felt kind of closes everything up. So everything looks very neat, even though there's a few things behind the scenes that people will never see. So I think this was a pretty easy pattern overall, but again, there were a couple parts that I personally found tricky. You may find them super easy, I don't know. And then I added this 1/4-inch twill tape as a little hanger. These are my snow hoop ornaments. I think they are so adorable. And it took me about 2 days, but that's because I was also filming everything. I think this would be great for like a family craft night or maybe hanging out with friends kind of holiday evening. What you could do is you could prep quite a few of the pieces. Like you could prep the back pieces. You could also pre-wrap some of the fabric around the outer hoops and sew the windows so that if you have friends and family coming over, they could kind of do the fun parts of assembling the ornament and do it pretty easily in an evening while you're having some snacks and maybe just hanging out. But I think this would be a great craft night project, so I would highly recommend, but these were really fun to make. I might make a few more because I do have a bunch more hoops to use. I'm so glad I was able to find a use for some of my favorite holiday prints that I just have little pieces of. This is a perfect project for that, and you can incorporate them in quite a few different ways, from wrapping the hoop to this window print to the background. So lots of different options. This is the Snow Hoop Ornament by Linen Bouquet. Let me know what you think of this project down below in the comments. Is this something you would make for the holidays? I think this was so fun to do, and again, this is a pretty low sew project and it's not super time consuming. You do need some supplies that I happen to have on hand. The only thing I didn't have was the embroidery hoops and this little sparkly fake snow, so I just ordered that. Highly recommend. It's a great fun holiday project. Anyways, I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. If you're looking for something else to watch, I would recommend my holiday sew along playlist. I will see you guys again in the next video, and remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.